Are we here?
I didn't think we were going to make it. All things considered,
yeah.
It's been a week. I think you have some things to say, and I have some things to say.
Yeah, we dug out of this storm. I hope everybody's okay out there on the East Coast.
That storm was like 4 days ago, but I feel like it was 4 years ago.
It's crazy,
and there's still piles of snow out there.
It's a lot.
Kids had 2 days off from school, 2 extra days to add to their presidential week vacation.
Yeah, we're all a little stir crazy.
I was thrilled to go back to the office. It was too much.
You're like, bye.
Yeah.
I want to be anywhere but trapped in this house.
I went in on Tuesday and had to deal with the Long Island Railroad not being quite running.
It was to New Jersey or
New Jersey. It took me like 2 hours plus.
But you got to sit there and read your paper and listen to your podcast.
Well, I had to pee. See, I have to sort of reorganize my commute because I drive to Hicksville because the train is there's more trains coming home, right? So there's more choices.
I don't like Syosset.
But they moved the Dunkin' Donuts. You know how it used to be like right next to the train station on the other side of the tracks? Yeah. Now it's like they stuck it in a corner of the parking lot across from where Utopia used to be.
Oh.
Yeah, so you have to walk in there, you get a cup of coffee. So I get my cup of coffee, I drink it, and then I'm standing on the platform and I'm like, I have to pee already. And, the train is late, of course, because they're only running a holiday schedule.
Was it snowing Tuesday?
No, but it was still like just right after, right? Then I get on the train and I have to sit next to this big smelly guy in one of the 2-seaters because and then people were all up and down the aisle. And then the weirdest thing I've ever seen, as soon as I started thinking, okay, I'm right across from the bathroom, let me go in there and pee because I'm an old man.
It's a nice bathroom,
I have to pee all the time.
I don't mind it.
It's usually smells of urine
or there's a family
cigarettes.
hiding in there trying to not get their tickets taken.
Well, so some guy gets on in like Jamaica or something, and he opens the door to the bathroom and he just hangs out in there.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah,
because I don't know, it's more room. Maybe it's
they don't check your ticket.
No, he left the door open.
Oh,
the door was open and he's just hanging out in the bathroom.
So that's a different kind of strange.
Yeah. Huh. So I couldn't use the bathroom, and then I go into Penn Station, and this is a very long story about me not being able to pee, and then I went up to the Amtrak bathroom, closed,
huh.
And then I go over to the Long Island Railroad bathroom.
I know it well.
And that one is like, there's so many people coming in and out, and I have like a shy bladder.
Me too.
So I'm standing there for like 20 minutes. Nothing is happening. And I leave the bathroom. I go back in the bathroom. I'm looking at my watch. I'm like work is, I don't know if I'm even going to make it. And finally I had to wait until a homeless guy popped out of one of the stalls.
Oh, thank God.
And then, it was like just,
I got to have a
It was
stall.
luck. I went into the stall, and then I made it to the rest of the way to work. But anyway, that's the story of me not peeing on my way to work.
I felt that though, because I've been through that. It
is middle ages recovery, and I don't know. Like usually my commute, there's sufficient bathrooms, but that day was it was a rough one.
You may have to look into some alternative underwear.
Like a catheter.
Yeah.
Maybe I should just wear a catheter.
I think it'd be great. Get a nice colostomy bag with Recovery in the Middle Ages branding on it.
We're going to sell Recovery in the Middle Ages catheters and colostomy bags for our aging audience.
Pocket catheter. Easy insertion.
Right.
And we're back. Welcome to Recovery in the Middle Ages, the podcast about two middle-aged suburban dads in their pursuit of life, love, and recovery. I'm Nat X.
And I'm Mike.
And boy, do we have a show for you today on RMA, Knowing the Enemy, Biology and Marketing.
You're just reading that for the first time.
Totally am. We've got a great show for you. Mike has sought out some very, very interesting and exciting articles for us to discuss. We're catching up on the snowstorm, and we're just doing it, guys. We're here again, sober another week.
We're just doing it.
All this and more today on a very special edition of RMA.
Here's my thinking. My thinking is, I've been doing, I don't know if you've noticed, I've sent them to you. I've been doing these Instagram reels.
Yeah, I love
about
it.
Basic recovery concepts, like
it's very hip.
Like the spectrum of recovery.
Yeah.
Like
looks like we have it together when you do those.
I know.
I love it.
Thanks to CapCut. It's a great little tool to make reels. But it started to get me thinking about how we're here at the beginning of the year, and we're at the beginning. You restarted your counter a little while ago. So maybe it's a good time to welcome in some new listeners by sort of going back to basics.
Let's do it.
And what I did was, I'm working on a book about recovery, right? I've been working on it for a very long time. 2 years now.
But I've been hearing about it.
But I've dumped the whole thing into Google Notebook LM. Are you familiar with Notebook LM?
I am not.
It allows you to put sources in there, and then you use that as sort of a basis to draw out whatever you want, like topics for Instagram Reels, for example. That's where I'm pulling it all from, right? So I asked Notebook LM if it would pull out Recovery 101 and Recovery 102 outline. So that included the basic concepts that I've been writing about and discussing on the Reels. Right. And then maybe we could just go through here and pick out the ones that resonate and talk about them a little bit.
I love it.
All right. But first... we have new reviews. I don't know if you've noticed.
No.
Yes.
Oh, it's good reviews, bad.
They are good reviews.
I love it.
And I think all of you good people should go out there and add reviews if you haven't, because preferably on Apple, but because I think that's the only place you can do it. But it helps get us up in the search rankings. It will expose we'll be able to expose ourselves to more people.
Yes, it's sort of
so
always,
to speak.
If there's that person who's struggling, they're just getting sober, don't know how, they go to their Apple podcast.
They go to their Apple.
They search,
not their banana,
and they do not go to the banana, and they go quitting alcohol or something, and boom, there's the warm embrace of Recovery in the Middle Ages podcast.
Well, did you know that this is a great show for anyone skipping alcohol and wanting something both engaging and supportive?
I did not know that.
Well,
I thought it. I hoped it.
Our reviewer thinks so. This is Melissa, who we know.
Yes. Thank you.
The hosts are equally brilliant. Thank you for saying so. And their contrasting personalities make it especially fun to watch. One steady and composed, the other wonderfully high energy. Which one is, I think I'm the steadily composed one.
And I'm wonderfully high.
You're wonderfully high energy. The dynamic is always entertaining. I really enjoy their chemistry. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
And we have another one.
Lefty Trash.
No, I love that. That's my favorite review.
I want a t-shirt that's 1 star. Avoid this lefty trash or whatever.
TJ says, hilarious, honest, and genuine. I laugh and feel things when Mike and Nat share their lives. What sort of things are you feeling? Okay.
Thank you.
Make more regular episodes.
Yes.
Yeah, we know.
What are you, my wife?
And then 2 weeks ago, Liz, I think it might be Liz, says, the best podcast of all, 5+ stars. After 5 years, I'm still hanging on every word. Thanks, Mike and Nat.
Thank you. No pressure.
That's nice. Three of them. It's nice to see after our spotty 2025.
Yeah, guilt works on me, and I think feeling like it would be a lot easier to skip it. If we didn't think anybody gave a crap one way or the other.
Yeah.
But knowing that someone wants to hear us because
it's an amazing podcast.
Yeah.
Less and less people listen every week.
I love it. Well, it's about
Have you been watching the numbers go?
Trying not to. It's about quality, not quantity. And there was a very public restructuring of the way they do their metrics. So these are more accurate across the board. But everybody,
didn't that happen a while ago?
It did, but now they've been sued over it, I think, because there's a case about it, numbers being fudged.
I hear that people make money off of podcasts. I wouldn't know, but and I assume that people who do
it by the numbers.
Very pissed if the metrics all of a sudden change.
Well, I was working with one such podcast, and when that hit the fan, there was a lot of panic because
you're not allowed to say what podcast.
Well,
you're working for.
It's not. The Dopey, obviously. I was working with Dopey. And that was documented on the show. I don't like to kiss and tell.
Hold on.
Yeah.
There's a dog hair sticking out of your microphone. Nope, not on your face. I'm just going to pull that out because looking at it,
there are dogs.
Okay.
There's dogs in the house. So there was a lot of panic.
Yeah.
And by the way, Dopey is going strong. If you guys don't remember them, I'm sure you do. He's the biggest guy in the game right now. And they're doing 5 episodes a week, I found.
What?
Yeah. They're not all live, though, but it's good. It's like he does
him?
Well, he is Dopey, so it's, he does like the rehash of an old episode on Mondays.
Okay.
They like rerun it, it's so you can have more
numbers.
Yeah, the advertisers are happier, and it gives people more Dopey. I know my podcasts, if I don't have it regularly, I get annoyed.
Yes, we've successfully annoyed thousands of people last year.
I'm so sorry.
Hey, and even Ryan or Rina was bitching on Facebook last week. He's like,
what the hell?
when are you guys going to have a regular podcast again? I'm like, Jesus Christ, dude.
I'm doing it.
We're trying.
Sorry.
We have to make announcements. That's the thing.
Yes.
I'm not good at, what do you call this?
Announcing
stuff. No,
planning.
Accounting.
Yes.
Whatever you want to call it, where you have to pay attention to shit.
Right. I don't like to pay attention to things.
Right. So you have some news for us. Do you want to share that news with the audience?
Well, yes. I actually have a job.
Woo!
Yes.
All right.
Woohoo. So I finally had to come to terms with the fact that whatever job I take or go for at this point in my life is not going to be something I've ever thought of doing, or I had to really think outside the box because the world is very different. I don't want to start a new business. I'm really taking a break from putting myself in that spot. And it's a sales job.
Yes.
It's one of those things, like every company I've ever owned or run or worked for, the salesmen always make the most money.
Yeah.
That's been true at every company I ever had. I always had to write bigger checks to the salesmen, the top guys, than I got to take home myself. And I always thought, man, I should have been a salesman. So finally, here's my big opportunity. It's a home remodeling company, a very big one, and they have a very rah-rah, culture for the employees. It was very high energy. I felt like I was being scammed for a bit. I was like, and the guy's like, no, this is real, man. Like, this is how it is. We're just high energy. It's happy. It's like we support each other, charity stuff. It's like the whole thing. They're doing it. And so they've asked me to come on as a senior sales rep, which is like you skip. It's very structured. They have like a college in the company for moving up in their company.
Oh,
that they really educate you, which is why they're so successful. So I get to start my training, paid training, I might add. I don't have to pay. Yeah, right. I'm like, where's the catch? Do I have to pay for the leads? Am I pay? No. If you get this job, it means you're on our team and we want you to be successful. I'm like, okay, I love it. So Monday I start 9 to 5 with this training.
Always be closing.
ABC,
brother.
That's right. Coffee is for closers. So I'm going to watch Wolf of Wall Street as soon as I can, and any other fun sales movies. But I'm excited to do it. It's a new opportunity for me. I'm just kind of finally excited about something. It's a company that's big and supportive, and I'm not selling something I don't feel good about. And AI can't show up at people's houses, make them feel comfortable about, buying siding.
Have you ever watched this movie?
Which one is it?
Glenn Ross.
I saw the show. Oh,
you did?
I went to it on Broadway.
All right, fuck this. I should have set it up better.
All right, 1357. Remember that.
What is it like? It's like first prize is $50,000. Second prize is a set of steak knives. Third prize is you're fired.
Yeah, I just saw that with Noah, with some famous people that I can't remember. The guy who plays Better Call Saul was in it.
Oh, really? Bob Odenkirk.
Yeah, I love that guy.
God, I want to go see that.
So, yes, I will be in a salesman. I'm going to refrain from rewatching or reading Death of a Salesman, which was portrayed phenomenally by Dustin Hoffman. If you have an opportunity to watch him portray, I can't remember the name of the characters. He was the lead, the salesman.
Right.
That is a fantastic portrayal of the character.
I just made more work for myself.
Yes, 1357.
So you could, you could sell bananas to a monkey, though, if you pardon the expression.
Yeah, I could. And especially the way that they coddle you with training. Like, they make sure you are 100% representing them and their brand, and they're very brand aware.
Are they going to teach you something about home remodeling? 'Cause
everything.
I did not think that was your...
Well, and I made that clear when I was in the interview. The guy he's like, I just like your energy. He goes, your experience is going to work for you. I like I felt comfortable when you walked in. That's how I want people to feel when you walk into their homes. Like, I'm like, great. I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, and I said, I have to say, I don't know anything. I actually said this to him. I don't know anything about home remodeling except that I can't afford it. And I got a laugh.
That's a good one.
I had a few laughs out of this guy. He was cracking up, and and he was some sort of semi-professional football player, and I couldn't get my hand around his hand.
He was a semi-professional football player?
Whatever that means. It's like one of those Canadian leagues he played for, something like that.
Got it, right.
And so I got to make a joke. I said, I need two hands to shake this thing. It's so big, and he was cracking up. So I had him going, and then I said, listen, I don't know anything about home remodeling. He says, that's fine. He goes, we give you everything you need to know and do. And he held up this book, which is, I guess, the training manual.
Right.
Everything you need to know is in this book. You learn everything. There's script. There's whatever you need. I said, that's perfect. I'm an actor. I can do it. And he says, I like that attitude. Let's sign you up. And then I took that picture.
Yeah, that picture is something else.
He's like, all right, well, now that you're on the team, they're the number one draft pick. It's all of these sports metaphors all over the place, okay, which is amazing. And it's this jersey, and it says, the name of the company, Victory, on it. He goes, all right, we're going to go stand in front of that wall where it has the logos splattered all over it. I'm going to take a picture of it and just give a one up in the air. And I'm like, what the hell is going on, And he could tell. He's like, no, it's cool, man. Don't worry. I'm like, all right, just took this picture. So,
it's a great picture. Unfortunately, I don't think you can post it, but no, it's funny.
I was completely bewildered by the whole experience, but in a good way. So I'd like everyone to know I have a great feeling about this. It's something I've never done. And frankly, I don't have many other options that aren't totally painful and impossible. So this is it.
Yes.
I'm doing it.
Let me ask you this. It sounds like the kind of company where there's going to be lots of team building exercises and 100%. Happy hours. And how are you going to deal with that shit?
They're very, they're the new generation of people who are in sales.
So they're not just drunken salesmen?
No, it's very, you don't say the wrong things. They're very careful with
pronouns,
everything like that. It is very forward thinking. I think I would have no problem at all, saying I don't drink, and they would be like, that's great, man. Here, have a Coca-Cola, and that would be, they'd be psyched I told them that or something. It's another world. This work world now is like being on an alien planet.
Don't I know it?
But it's not the worst. Some of it's annoying, but it's all, they're trying to do good things. They don't want anyone to be hurt or sue them.
I have a couple, I got a promotion last year.
Yes, I remember.
And so now I'm managing a small group of people and of different ages, right? There's a guy who's kind of my age, and there's, then go back down the line, younger and younger, until you get to the youngest person, she's great. But I sometimes wonder if I'm speaking the same language when I'm speaking to them.
It's weird.
And we don't do happy hours and stuff because we're stuck in the middle of New Jersey and people have going home to their families and stuff. But we do have that stuff going on conferences and stuff. And, I sometimes wonder, because when you're speaking to Gen Z people, if you're really communicating with them, it's hard. Yeah. To speak that language, because it is different. It is. Yeah. And that's a frustration. I was trying to tell this gentleman that hired me. I said, I had to manage a lot of employees at my last company, and I noticed the younger people I was hiring, it's a little difficult, when, yes, you have to come into the office, this is kind of how this works. Right. A lot of the stuff we take for granted that is expected is not.
and they expect a lot out of the box, like, where's my company car? And I just got a degree in business management. How come I'm not managing anything? It's like, you didn't earn it. You don't,
right.
There's a lot of entitlement that comes with it.
And so if they don't like it, they leave and they go somewhere else. They chase like small salary bumps. Yeah. It's crazy, but whatever, it is what it is.
Yeah.
We're just Gen X fuddy-duddies at this point.
That gave me an advantage, I think. It gives, being this late in the job market.
Well, I think a certain amount of gravitas is needed when you go into somebody's house and try and sell them a dormer for $200,000 or whatever it is,
Yeah. And I've got a family who has been in my own dining room with one of these guys. So I know what they feel and what the family feels and financing and all of that stuff. So I think I can, and also it's a great product. I look these guys up. It's all
okay. You don't have to sell me.
But I don't feel shitty about selling it. It's what I like. I've had to sell some shitty stuff over the years, and I always had that pit in my stomach. Like, I didn't feel good about it. But this, I'm like, this is great. Like, I don't have to feel like, when's the other shoe going to drop and they realize what they just bought, and then I'm on the
3 days to cancel the contract. And
there's the 3-day, rescission law in New York. So that's when I get paid. Any case, bore.
No, that's what people tune in to, is
the boring
bored
stuff
with their lives.
Yeah. So there it is. I have a job. So,
well, that's awesome, dude. And, congratulations and best wishes for a successful career.
Thank you. And I won't be sitting at a desk 9 to 5. I mean, the training you're in 9 to 5 in this training place in Melville, actually Broad Hollow Road. But after that, it's perfect for me. I'm like a surgeon on call. That's how it sounds like. You get your leads or whatever, and then you have to respond to it between the hours of X and X.
Right. And then you go sit down at somebody's living room and they serve you cookies.
Yeah, but it's coffee. Qualified. Like, I'm not knocking on doors. These are people who want.
Yeah, they're interested.
Dude, they do a soft credit pull before you even show up.
Wow. So you're selling financing too?
Well, yeah, of course.
Wild.
Something like this. But they know before I enter the house that they'll be able to finance the person.
See.
Like, that's a triple qualified. Like, it's going to be easy.
Cool.
Easy peasy. Lemon squeezy.
Yeah, we've drifted far away from recovery. This is actually now a podcast about human resources, hiring, and
payroll
jobs.
companies, ADP or paychecks.
So we'll get into the meat and potatoes of this week's episode. So I figured today's mission is sort of to pull back the curtain, if you will, on the early stages of sobriety and sort of provide our logical, evidence-based roadmap for people who are questioning their relationship with alcohol later in life. I think the first thing that we have to acknowledge.
Sorry.
What are you doing?
There's a big thing here.
Sorry.
It's not my.
There was a joke there.
Yes, there was.
You hit your crotch on the
But
tape.
I'm not going
You said
for
there was a big thing there.
I know.
And I'm trying to figure out a way to work that in, but.
Nope. Too late.
Nobody cares.
Let's flush it.
Right?
Flush it.
So I guess the first thing that you have to start with whenever you're thinking about recovery is sort of redefining some of the old canards that exist about recovery itself, like alcohol use, for example, to try and sort of jettison the idea that there are alcoholics and other people. And
right.
Alcohol use is really
the otherism.
On a spectrum.
The otherism.
You can be a high functioning professional. You can be a soccer parent. I don't want to say soccer mom anymore.
Soccer parent.
Be a soccer parent with a spiked thermos of, and we've known some of those that, those of us whose kids have played soccer in this town. Mm-hmm. Or you can be a glass of wine a night drinker who, has a problem and gets restless and anxious if the bottle is empty. AUD, I prefer the term AUD, alcohol use disorder, to alcoholism. It's really like a slow drift, right? Where you start maybe having a glass of wine a night, but then your life starts to revolve around the glass of wine a night while everything else sort of fades into the background. And then before you know it, alcohol is occupying an outsized place in your brain and
it's
in
the
your
proverbial boiling frog.
Right, exactly. And I'm not convinced that, we know alcohol is physically addictive, but it's a very weird addiction, alcohol. It's weirder than drugs. Drugs, you pretty much can tell right away.
Yeah,
you're
addicted
doing
something
to drugs.
Wrong, or you're addicted to it.
Right? Yeah. Like if you're smoking crack or you're doing coke, There's
no casual picking up a rock,
But with alcohol, it's sort of like it changes the way you think about alcohol.
Yeah.
You become an ardent defender of alcohol. If you go on any of these online forums, you ever notice people are just like, if anybody questions drinking at all, people are like, rah! Like they go crazy. Like you fucking called their mother a whore or something. It's crazy.
I have a woo-woo theory on this that I've heard before that I'm thinking of now. So one of the interesting ways to think about this is, what do they call, for one thing, I'll start with this quote. What do they call liquors? Spirits, right?
Yeah.
And there's this theory in the woo-woo land that when you're drinking that spirit, it's called that because the spirit is inhabiting you. And when you're defending
the demon
alcohol, yes, you're really defending your own existence as the spirit of whiskey.
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting? And so that's kind of like a possession.
I never would have agreed with that, but now I totally believe that there's something going on.
There's something infecting you.
It's sort of like,
it's
those
a parasite.
Yeah, it's a parasite. It's
it
like
wants to survive.
It's like the fungus that takes over the ant, and like
yes.
eats their brain away and then makes the ant do things.
Right.
It's like, that's what alcohol is. It makes you defend alcohol on social media forums.
Yeah.
It makes you cling on to the identity of a drinker, like long beyond the point where it suits you anymore.
Right.
It's really fucking
Spirits.
weird. Yeah.
Spirits.
It is.
Think about that, folks.
And a lot of and society helps out with that.
Oh, big
right?
time.
Very well. Because I call it in the thing I'm writing, the bad news bears normalization, because like if you're a Gen Xer, you definitely grew up in a world where alcohol was everywhere, right? If you the 1976 film Bad News Bears, did you ever watch that with Walter Matthau and Tatum O'Neal?
I'm sure I've seen it, and I don't remember it though, but I'm having memory problems.
I may have talked about this before, but there's a scene in there where the coach, who's played by Walter Matthau, has a case of beer, and he passes it out to the little league kids to celebrate, and they're popping it open and drinking it. And in 1976, that was like for laughs. Like imagine a movie today where a drunk middle-aged coach passes out a 12-pack of beer to a bunch of 11-year-olds. It wouldn't play, right?
No.
But that was normal, and
Now
that
you
sort of
pass it to
normalization, it planted a seed in our generation. The idea that drinking is what you do to celebrate, to exist. It's just woven into the fabric of society.
It's the social lubricant. It's frequently described as, they always talk about it. So, and it didn't used to be jarring to me to hear pundits on news or discussions who aren't recovery people will say things like, oh, we'll got to have that wine, and that's what brings us together. Or they talk lovingly about getting together for a drink, and it is ingrained. It's in the fabric of our society. And I think it goes across all nations and cultures, really.
Riuniti on ice. That's nice. Do you remember that commercial?
No. But my favorite fake commercial is the Saturday Night Live Schlitz Gay commercial with Chris Farley. And it's like a beer for gay guys. And this would never go over big today. But it was one of those commercials where they open it up and Chris Farley's got those flip-up glasses. Oh, and Adam Sandler. And all of these sexy male models in bikinis just appear. And they have this big gay party. And it's like Schlitz Gay. You've never seen this?
I have not.
It's the funniest, dude. Okay, everyone look it up. Schlitz Gay. SNL, so funny. But
in my family, we think the wine you drink the most should be the best. We like Paul Masson's Burgundy. It's smooth and rich. We serve it to our friends, and now a lot of them are serving it to their friends.
Ooh.
Why don't you join us? Next time you go shopping and you're choosing a wine, make it Paul Masson Burgundy. Paul Masson himself said it nearly a century ago. We will sell no wine before it's time.
That, of course, was the great Orson Welles
Yes.
doing Paul Masson commercials in 1980.
yes, Paul Masson wine.
Have you ever seen there's outtakes for those commercials filming when they were filming it? Because Orson Welles was actually fucking cocked.
Take one. With overlap, action please.
Paul Masson, a very drunk Paul Masson, so I can narrate what's happening here, is staring into the camera, and he's so wasted that he can't even talk.
Just do anything? No, sorry, cut. Yeah, rolling.
So
102, take two.
yeah, there you go.
Well, they made fun of that on the Critic with John Lovett. and they would do a bit on that cartoon where it was Orson Welles doing commercials for Rosebud frozen peas, and they do the outtakes. It's like Rosebud frozen peas, full of country goodness and green penis. Oh wait, that's terrible. I quit. And they do a whole shtick over that. Yeah. So that's where that came from.
That's
Rosebud,
the guy from Pod Save America.
No, John Lovitz.
Yeah. Oh, Lovitz.
Lovitz. You know,
not Lovitz.
That guy.
Okay, yeah.
Funny guy.
Yeah. So how do you tell if you are having a problematic relationship with alcohol, and where do you fall on the spectrum?
Well, given all the hindsight I now have over all of my problems, if I was advising my 15-year-old son, as I have recently, about watching out for that sort of thing, I'd say I identified when the problem began is when I'd be thinking ahead to the weekend on a Monday and not thinking about the fun party or whatever. The first thing I'd think of is the drinking or the drug use that would be happening. And that when that weekend would roll around and let's say something came up or we didn't go to the party or dinner party or whatever, I would be annoyed. I'd be like irritated. And I began to look forward to the drinking, not the party. And it became part of it.
Right. So if you went out to someone's house expecting a party and there was no alcohol, you'd be annoyed.
Yeah. I'd be like, what the fuck?
Yeah. So
where's the drink?
You would go choose a restaurant on the basis of whether they had booze or not. Right?
Yeah. And it would start to get more and more like, making sure that we'd be at a drinking party.
Yeah. And you could always do the Google test today, which is something we couldn't do in the past, to determine if you have an alcohol problem.
And if you Google, do I have an alcohol problem? The first answer is yes, because you've Googled this, you must.
Because people who have a healthy relationship with alcohol, whatever the fuck that is, they don't tend to ask that question, right? So putting alcohol in context, is also something really interesting. It's also goes back to the sort of parasitical nature of alcohol and its effect on, mass hallucinations, if you will, because you consider that in 1987, right, at the height of the crack epidemic, cocaine and crack claimed 1,008 lives.
In what context? Just like violence or it actually killed
altogether?
People? Yeah.
Okay.
Like crack related deaths.
And all you saw on the news every night was coverage of crack wars, crack gangs, all that stuff. But that same year, according to the National Institute on Drug Abuse, alcohol-related health problems claimed over 93,000 lives. So we went to war over $1,000 deaths, but we poured a glass of wine to toast 93,000. So,
yeah.
I mean,
it also
that's just how psychotic this society is when it comes to substances.
Well, there's an argument to be made that it was also racist at the time.
Clearly as well.
It was seen as a black problem or an inner city problem. And therefore, just like, it paralleled the marijuana fight, going back to how they said it would make these, black people crazy and go attack and kill people. Literally, this is what they said. And it really was just sort of like racism.
There is some evidence that the CIA
Absolutely.
flew cocaine into America and dumped it in African American neighborhoods on purpose.
I believe
it. That was the whole genesis behind Nixon starting the war on drugs in the early 70s. It was a deliberately racist thing.
The CIA is definitely involved in drug trafficking.
But the alcohol industry is very smart because they're selling a lifestyle, right? Because the product itself, which is a bitter, burning, horribly tasting toxin, requires an acquired taste, and supposedly sophisticated people are able to acquire the taste of alcohol. So if you want to be sophisticated,
you choke it down until you pretend to like it, or
you will acquire the taste. It's sort of like Americans don't like taxing rich people because they think of themselves as temporarily inconvenienced millionaires. It's like the same kind of logic goes into this kind of thing. So
quite the inconvenience lately for me.
You're right. You're hooked, right? Because you have that. That 3 a.m., you may have a couple of glasses, a couple of 3 at night, and then you start wondering why you're not getting good sleep anymore. Every 3 a.m. you wake up in a panic and, because alcohol is working its way through your neurochemistry.
Yeah.
I mean, it suppresses glutamate. It boosts GABA. And when it wears off, your brain overcompensates by flooding your system with stress hormones.
And I've seen Yo Gabba Gabba, and that's horrible. It's like a horrifying.
That's a great show.
You end up looking like the dildo character.
Oh, I was going to say DJ Rex, what's his name?
What?
DJ.
Why do you know the? Oh yeah. The main dude.
Yeah. Yo Gabba Gabba was off the hook. That was a very psychedelic show,
wasn't it? I guess Ben watched it. No.
Yeah.
Was that Ben's generation?
Yeah. Yo Gabba Gabba.
Yo.
He went as DJ Lance.
Uh-huh.
That was the guy's name.
DJ Lance.
So
Buttons.
You want to talk about the moderation trap?
What is the moderation trap? Before I was thrust into the recovery world against my will.
Thrust into it against your will, huh?
Basically, yeah, against my will at first, for sure. I didn't notice any of this type of thing. Obviously, it wasn't a top of mind. But once I was thoroughly indoctrinated by rehabs and that sort of thing, and I learned about the drinking moderation movement, I was so aghast at this idea, how absurd it is. But I think that my initial instinct was correct. And I think we covered this on the show.
We did.
Where was that part of this section? And we were going to say what happened to the woman who was behind all of this.
I mean, I think it's easy to kick Audrey Kishline in the butt repeatedly for
it's too easy.
Fact, I mean, she founded moderation management and advocated on cutting back rather than quitting, but eventually killed 2 people in a drunk driving accident and admitted that moderation is a seductive lie. Finally,
didn't work for her. Yeah.
But I will say this: I mean, I spend a lot of time in online alcohol forums, right? People trying to quit. There's a whole bunch of them on Facebook and in Reddit. And, I go in there and I try and share some of my experience, strength, and hope, or whatever you want to call it, right, what we're doing here with other people. And I would say at least once a day, someone pops into one of those forums and says something along the lines of, hi guys, I'm here. I don't want to quit. I just want to learn to drink like a normal person.
Yes.
And
whatever that
everybody, I would say 99% of the people that respond to a post like that say some version of, you can't. So the sooner you let go of that idea, the better, right? But it's a very pervasive
Once you're
thought.
a pickle, you're never a cucumber again.
Yes.
That's the old
But my response to that is a little more nuanced, because for me, because I look at that desire. I look at the desire to drink like a normal person, and I think it's total bullshit. Like, nobody wants to drink like a normal person. Drinking like a normal person sounds fucking awful. Yeah. Like, you want to have one drink and then what? Sit around anxiously wishing you'd had 2 or 4 for the rest of the night.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? You're going to take I covered this in my in a recent Instagram reel. Like, what are you going to do? Put a little piece of saran wrap over your half glass of wine and put it back in the fridge? You don't want to fucking do that. Nobody who drinks wants to do that. You don't want to drink like a normal person.
No,
and normal people don't think about how much they drink.
Right. Yeah, they think a nifty new drink. Like, anytime we go over to friends' houses of the Max's friends' parents and stuff, they have fun with it. There's the Moscow Mule was popular for a bit. And then they got into it, like, they've got these special copper mugs, cups, and the different little garnish, that you can get. And it's this whole thing. And it looks like they're having fun for the most part, engaging in all of this sort of, like little, it's a new fad, everyone's enjoying it. But I don't think I was ever realistically in a spot where that would be what I got out of it,
I would have had 5 Moscow Mules and passed out on the couch or something, because, as Annie Grace covers in her book, The Naked Mind, like, at great detail, you have one drink of alcohol and it elevates your mood and all that for 20 minutes. And then you start to withdraw. Yeah. And unless you're sticking another drink in there, you're going to feel like shit.
Yeah.
And that's so what was that beer? They were like, was it Schaefer? It's the one beer to have when you're having more than one. So because people want to have more than one. I mean, and after decades of drinking, the neural pathways in your brain are deep. It's like a highway, and you can put caution tape over the entrance to the highway, but the highway's still there.
Yeah.
There may be weeds sprouting out of the cracks, but if you take that tape down, you can still drive on it.
Yeah. Marijuana comes in too.
Marijuana comes in?
Well, you said weed, and it made me think of.
Did I say weed?
Yeah.
Weeds growing in the crack.
So it
Not
may
that
be,
kind of weed, but okay.
I mean, it's actually maybe a mistaken point that we can also bring up, where now we're having a convergence of weed and pot with alcoholism, and we're at a very, very dangerous intersection now.
What's going to happen?
Well, it looks
at the dangerous intersection of weed and alcohol.
I mean, it's happening, because now that weed has been basically legalized, or is just not federally, I think, it's going to have the same kind of societal acceptance. And I think in 50 years or less, we may be having the same discussion about weed, and it's going to be twice as much trouble, because that's what's going to happen.
Well, because weed has a reputation as being utterly harmless.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that ship is kind of turning a little bit.
Yeah, well, people are also realizing, and they're seeing really deleterious effects on their kids and in their lives. And it's not just weed like they had. It's this, like a distilled version of it, like the liquor version
of weed.
Of that. Yeah.
That's dabs.
Yeah, dabs, wax, whatever that. Shatter. Have you heard shatter?
This is all great weed that wasn't around when I was smoking weed.
Yeah. I mean, it all sounds interesting. I just don't know what it is. But it's very concentrated. It's almost like a hallucinogen.
Yeah.
Off the bat.
It's funny. I was talking to Dimitri a little while back, and he said, he had to stop with weed because it was like he thought that the potency was making him like psychotic at times.
And it is. He's not wrong. That's been proven.
Yeah. But I mean, there's good news if you're older and you are reevaluating your relationship with alcohol, because there is like a Gen X and a Boomer advantage, because quitting in middle age is like, it's hard because it is like steering an ocean liner to some degree.
Yeah.
Because the neural pathways are so developed in your brain, but we also have like a little more wisdom. We know a little bit more about how the world works, and there is way less peer pressure at this age than there was, when we were in our 20s, when basically not drinking was social suicide.
Yeah. I don't care as much that someone may or may not accept or like me.
No, I would rather be home watching a movie than in a loud bar any day of the week.
And I found that I'm far more likely to say it out loud to whomever is putting me in that spot,
Yes.
without holding back. I just don't care.
Plus, I don't know what your work ethic was, but mine was like, I could stay out all night and then take a shower, take a 2-hour nap, and roll into work. Right?
Me too.
I mean, that is some Gen X fucking power that
all-nighter
current generations, I don't believe, have at any degree.
Yeah.
And maybe that's just me being an old fart and not liking.
When we did it, we would be drinking all night and go to work the next day, 12-hour shift at a coal mine.
But the fact that we can do that means like sitting down and doing the work of recovery should not be as onerous as it might be for someone who has no attention span and has to recover on Instagram reels,
Right.
And then at the end of the journey, sobriety is not shouldn't be looked at as a joyless exile from fun. It's an upgrade to your entire operating system.
It really is. It's not a state of, what did we always say?
It's a state of abundance,
not deprivation.
Not a state of deprivation.
Right.
You stop chasing things at the bottom of the bottle and start actually living your life. Right.
Right. I never found any answers at the bottom of my beer. That's for sure.
All I had to do was stop doing one thing, and I got everything I ever wanted. Right. That's how it's usually put.
Everything I've ever wanted.
Well, maybe that's overstating the case a bit. But
I did struggle with that, after my life got harder, after I got completely sober. So you have to, it's not a magic solve for your entire life, but it certainly does put you in a spot where you can actually accomplish something.
Yeah. So I don't know how much, any of the other things in 101 or 102 resonate with you.
I always like the idea of identifying the beast and the addictive voice.
Yes.
I don't know if that should be after the break.
Would you like to take a break? Do you have ants in your pants? Do
no.
You need to go, offload a little pee?
No, I think I would like to. I'm actually doing good.
Okay.
I've noticed that you have identified the beast, the addictive voice. And in fact, when this finally sunk in, this idea of calling your addiction as a separate entity.
Yes.
Once I finally absorbed that and got it, that helped me more than almost anything. Mm-hmm. It's maybe just the way I am, the way I think, but being able to identify it as a malevolent infestation, some kind of extrasensory demon that I would yell at, that did a lot for me. And it was also Stutz, I think, was the documentary.
Yes.
Right. With the guy from Superbad. He did that documentary on Dr. Stutz. Mm-hmm. And they talk a lot about that. In fact, I think his entire program revolved around this idea that there's this extra consciousness that's you're arguing with, basically. That's trying to take you down. You've heard that in the rooms where they say, your addiction is out in the parking lot doing push-ups while you sit in here and do your AA so that when you walk out, it's ready to take you on.
Right.
But
Jonah Hill is the guy.
Jonah Hill, right. So
the voice, the addictive voice, this came from Rational Recovery, which is sort of a defunct recovery program. It's sort of evolved into Smart Recovery, which if you're looking for a non-AA method of recovery, you could do worse than to check out Smart Recovery. But
the beast.
They call it the Addictive Voice Recognition Technique, AVRT, which is basically any little voice in your head that's whispering reasons into your ear why drinking is a good idea. Things like, oh, you had a hard week. Oh, you can just have one.
And once you see it, you never unsee it.
Right.
Once I identified that in my own mind, I could never unsee it. So it really helped. I mean, it didn't always succeed in keeping me. Sometimes I'm like, you know what? Let's have a beer, beast.
Right.
Let's go get high.
Because, hanging out with the beast can be fun, right?
Yeah. Once you finally, if something goes horribly wrong in your life or you're not getting along with your wife, whatever, you go, you know what? Fuck it. Beast, let's go out for a bit.
Fuck it is the worst.
A case of the fuck it.
Anytime you say fuck it, that's the beast talking also, right? I mean, it helps to sort of picture the beast as something. I picture mine as like a misshapen demon in a ragged 1970s velvet tuxedo who smells vaguely of cigarettes. So, I mean, the voice in your head that's telling you to stay stopped and not to drink, that's actually the real you. And the other,
the devil and the angel on your shoulder. I mean, this is as old as cartoons.
It's true. I mean, the beast says things like, "You've gone 30 days. You've proven you can moderate."
Yeah,
and then you should tell it, shut up. Being able to hold my breath for 30 days isn't the same as breathing. Or you're boring and awkward without a drink. That's the beast. Or just one glass of Pinot for the Dylan vibes. Or everyone is judging you for not drinking. Shit like that. And you can tell it to go pound sand,
Separation of the self. Yeah, I mean, there's so much you can dig into with that. There's exercises. I highly recommend, search for Stutz on the Recovery in the Middle Ages dial on your radio and look up that the review of Stutz or just watch it. I think it's on Netflix. It's very enlightening. Most of our listeners are, older intellectual types, I think, and really can get a lot out of thinking their way through it. Early on in recovery, I got a lot of your best thinking got you here. So don't think, just do what we say. Remember that?
Yeah, I don't like that.
Don't think. Stop thinking because, you've talked yourself into this lifestyle and this crash in your life. So stop listening to yourself. Just put the cotton in your mouth and out of your ears or something like that. But I always liked thinking through things. And maybe the idea is when you're first, we've debated this a lot, because we have slightly differing opinions on it, I think. But at first, I always thought, I agree, because when you're in a state of acute withdrawal from drugs, let's say, or something that's extremely addictive, you really are completely possessed and you're not even doing your own thinking. That's how I would think of it. And
yeah,
it is
it's
good
the
to shut
substance
up
is thinking.
and just, try and you still have control over your appendages, let's hope, and your ability to do things. So you just sit there, listen for a bit and try and get some separation from the beast. And then I would say, I think I've always said, once you're sober a bit, a couple of weeks, whatever, you're starting to feel yourself again. Then it's a great time to think through these things because there's so much good literature on it. And you can get a lot out of reasoning your way to sobriety.
Well, in the beginning, you're basically, if you're going through the traditional, recovery rehab model, you're in detox, right?
Yeah.
For the first part. So you're not really getting much heavy intellectualization in detox, right? I mean, they may have some optional meetings and stuff like that, but
yeah, it depends on where you do it. But I mean, it's usually best to just be, in a medical setting where you're, in a hospital bed and not trying to memorize steps or something.
Yeah.
But a lot of times that you don't have the luxury of that, depending on where you're at. Some of these rehabs you go in and their detox method is you don't get anything. You go through your withdrawals. And I'll never forget, I think I was at Long Island Center for Recovery, and I was maybe a week there, and they brought in a guy who apparently used to work there. He was a big personality in recovery, and he was sweating profusely. He was clearly heavy into heroin withdrawal. And he was sitting in the, he kind of came out of his room for one of the big meetings, and he raised his hand to introduce himself. And I thought to myself, holy shit, let this guy sleep. Yeah. Look, why is he out here? I don't know if it was his choice or they forced him, but he didn't look like he wanted to be there,
Yeah.
But he did. He raised his hand. He explained how, who he was and how even he could fall. Maybe he was trying to do us all a favor to see, even a guy like him, which I don't think any of us knew who he was. We were newbies there.
Right.
And, but I think there could be more care when it comes to that. But then you get into where's the money coming from to fund this for the people who is making this possible?
Yeah.
And are there enough beds? There's never enough beds. It's a common
plenty
theme.
of beds if you have insurance.
Yeah.
So if there's a third party payer, as I've discovered.
Yep.
All right. I tell you what, maybe that's enough chit chat on recovery for today. Let's have a break.
Okay.
And then we come back with Recovery in the News. I have a couple of interesting articles.
And Week in Weird, possibly?
Oh, if you got one.
Well, if Scott Wick is out there waiting, I've got something for him.
All right.
And all of you. We'll be right back after these notes.
Words.
Or words. And we're back.
Yeah.
Hello. Just getting our radio show shoes on.
That was that break was 30 seconds?
Yeah, but we got
we shuffled some papers around.
We got to gaze into each other's eyes. So
anyway, it's time for your old favorite show,
Recovery in the News. Yeah. Recovery in the news. Recovery in the news. Recovery. Yeah. Recovery in the news, motherfucker. Yeah.
Or you
Nice.
you fuckers.
You fuckers. Joseph Nows. I wish we could do a reprise. I want to get all of our favorite guests.
I want to have Joseph back on the show.
I want Nas back. I want that guy Mishka Shalabi.
Yes.
I love that guy.
We should go out to L.A.
Oh, fuck, man. I would love that.
Yeah.
Tag along with Dave when he goes to the West Coast.
I actually have to go out to San Diego. I messaged me
Really?
when I was out there last time. I said we should have lunch. Maybe I'll do that when I'm in LA next time. Anyway,
he's one of the best people I've met.
Yeah, great guy.
Just what great energy.
Read his books.
Read them now.
Read the Straight Pepper Diet.
That was the best
and
one.
the False Graph Revelation.
Love it.
Great books on recovery.
Spell False Graph. Go.
PFALSGRAFF. It's that famous case in torts. So
right. So you must know it.
Must know it.
I used to have a salesman that worked for me. His name was Rene. Man named Rene Thalsgraf.
Wow.
Z.
I wonder if
Thalsgraf.
It's a German, right? Name.
It sounds pretty German. Yeah. Silent P.
Anyway, our first story. We have 2 articles. This is a quickie. Long. Speaking of Los Angeles. Los Angeles man sentenced for pouring alcoholic drink into a hawk's mouth. It's not bad enough that we have to ruin our own lives with alcohol. Apparently, we're ruining other species' lives with alcohol as well.
How does one get a hawk in a position where you could even think of doing something like that?
I'll show you the picture.
And there he is.
He's pouring one of those globe-shaped drinks that you can buy at the gas station.
Yeah, I've seen those.
Into the mouth of a Cooper's hawk.
What? How did that? That's so weak and weird.
The California Department of Fish and Wildlife announced that Cesar Gustavo Diaz, 25, of Los Angeles, was sentenced following a CDFW investigation into a case of animal cruelty involving a protected raptor. In June of 2025, Diaz captured a juvenile Cooper's hawk at Amelia Mayberry Park in South Whittier. The case came to light after a video surfaced on YouTube showing Diaz pouring an alcoholic beverage into the bird's mouth. I will put a link to that in the show notes if you want to see a Cooper's hawk getting drunk. Concerned members of the public alerted the CDFW, thankfully, prompting an investigation by the Special Operations Unit. So the wildlife group has a special ops unit. That's interesting. With the assistance of detectives from LASD Operation Safe Streets, making the streets safe for Cooper's hawks.
Yeah.
Diaz, a convicted felon who was already in custody on unrelated charges, was identified and later interviewed. He released the hawk prior to the CDFW intervening. The case was submitted to the LA District Attorney's Office as a felony animal cruelty case. He was charged with misdemeanor animal cruelty and capturing/confining wildlife, because I guess there is no law specifically stating that you cannot pour cheap gas station booze into the mouth of a Cooper's hawk. As a bird watcher, or birder, I should say,
yes,
I am offended that someone would get a Cooper's hawk drunk.
You're not the least bit impressed that he was able to,
I mean, here's the hawk afterwards. He looks a little fucked up.
Where did they... I don't understand how...
The guy filmed it for YouTube.
But where does the hawk come from? Is it his hawk? Or
no, he found it in the park, and I guess it was just hanging out.
What? When do hawks just hang out?
I don't know. I can't get any to come to the yard, even with 4 bird feeders. It's nuts.
Did they have them at the sanctuary? Have you been there recently?
Yeah, but those are like captive hawks.
Yeah, they're not happy.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if they're happy. I mean, they can't fly.
They always look grumpy.
Well, I mean, yeah. Anyway, so don't give alcoholic beverages to hawks.
It's not cool, guys. Not cool.
Second article I thought was kind of interesting. This is from Fox News, a reliable source of information.
Yes, be careful, don't lefty trash this thing. Come on.
With Americans, here's the headline. With Americans zebra striping instead of quitting drinking, Michelob Ultra is cashing in. Michelob Ultra Zero is cashing in.
Zebra.
Yeah. Michelob Ultra Zero has surged to become the #1 top-selling and fastest-growing non-alcoholic beer. That is so depressing.
Wow.
In the country, overtaking Heineken Zero just 12 months after launching in January 2025. The rapid ascent underscores a structural shift in how Americans socialize, moderate, and think about alcohol. Rather than abstaining entirely, many consumers are alternating between alcoholic and non-alcoholic beverages, a practice known as zebra striping, allowing them to extend nights out without the next day consequences. Have you heard of zebra striping?
I haven't. It stands to reason, though, because we used to do that we would say... have a glass of water in between each drink when we would go to the bar.
Yeah, right.
Like Christine and I, when we used to go to Moonchaba Lounge, where my band used to play and stuff, would say that, because always the next day it was like Hangover City.
Right.
And so we would say, all right, drink and then have when you have to.
Did you ever actually do that?
No, not successful. One time,
It's like moderation.
One time, I did the first drink. I had a drink, I drank water, and then a million drinks, and I didn't do it again. But I remember talking about it and planning to do it.
Yes,
that was
I'm sure a lot of people plan to do it, but leave it up to the good folks of Big Alcohol to figure out a way to replace a glass of water with yet another beverage that is reminiscent of alcohol. I love this sentence, though. With just 29 calories, Michelob Ultra Zero extends the brand's long-standing association with balanced, fitness-conscious lifestyles. Like, did the reporter get that sentence directly from Michelob Ultra people? Because it certainly doesn't sound like news. It sounds like promotion to me.
It's trash.
And actually, that sentence came from Ryan Foley, the New Jersey-based author of the book Non-Alcoholic Drinks for Dummies. You have to
orange juice, guys. It's easy.
You need a book for that?
Yeah, orange juice.
Wow. I know Michelob on the alcohol side is also on fire, so I feel like they're getting a lot of pull-through from both sides of the coin at this point if they're taking over the number one spot, Foley told Fox News Digital. I don't know, man. I think that's bullshit. I think zebra striping is probably bullshit also. And I'm not adverse to having a 29-calorie Michelob Ultra. Tastes great and refreshing on a hot summer day.
It does.
I don't know.
Nothing about beer is refreshing to me. It never was.
So you were not a beer guy?
That's not true. I was a beer guy because I was raised to be. I used to make beer with my dad and my brother.
Right.
My dad loves Hefeweizen, German, Belgian. So my family was a German beer family, if you want to call it that. It was very much, he would say, it's like mother's milk, and it would drive my brother crazy. He thought that was disgusting.
He doesn't want to drink mother's milk.
Like, it's like, try this Polliner Hefeweizen. It's like mother's milk. So yes, I did like beer. When I was drinking, quote unquote, for taste, I liked a Hefeweizen. I liked the Trappist Monk beer.
Yeah.
And I got that really cool, the Chimay glass.
Yes, the Chimay
which
glass,
I now drink root beer out of.
Yeah. The root beer floats.
It's not big enough for one of my root beer
that's
floats.
White Castle glass.
The White Castle 95th anniversary.
That's the best.
That's the one, guys.
I want one of those glasses. I'm going to look on eBay.
It's very hard to get.
I'll bet it is. But I don't know. I used to drink more non-alcoholic beer.
I never liked it.
When I was on vacation last time,
I remember that.
I had a couple.
Didn't we have some debate over it? I thought it was a terrible idea because you're still psychologically looking for the terrible flavor. And what do you get? I
mean, I kind of like the flavor of some beers, but you know what? I've stopped ordering the Heineken Zero because I never liked Heineken to begin with. So why am I going to like Heineken Zero?
Skunky.
Yeah. Plus the bubbles give me gas now. Yeah. I'm an old fucking man.
Right.
Anyway, that's recovery in the Middle Ages.
Recovery in the news.
Sorry, that's recovery. See, I'm fucking cooks, man.
Yes. There's no outro singing on the song.
Yes, there is. No, there isn't.
Sometimes I do it, but sometimes I think it's too much, you know.
People want to hear it.
Yeah, I think on the outro as well. Well, you'd think that'd be the end of the show, but since this is...
You would be wrong.
Season 5...
okay.
Week in Weird. So, this comes from our very favorite guy, Tim Banal. Hunter in South Dakota hears strange sounds. Some think it could be Bigfoot. Oh. Our old pal Bigfoot is
he's back.
A mountain lion hunter in South Dakota. Let's just stop right there. Quote, a mountain lion hunter, so this is a thing in South Dakota, reported hearing a series of strange sounds that some suspect could have come from Sasquatch. The intriguing incident, which occurred last March in the state's Custer County, came to light this past week when his account... Custer's Last Stand?
Custer's Last Stand?
Almost. No D at the end. Came to... Actually, but there is no D in Custer, is there?
No.
Oh. Came to light this past week when his account of the Erie event was shared by the Bigfoot Field Researchers Organization. According to the witness, he had been attempting to draw out a mountain lion using a call that resembled a distressed fawn when, after 2 hours... Jesus... He's doing that for 2 hours. After around 2 hours, he heard, quote, 2 different style of knocks from behind me.
Huh.
In addition to the classic wood knock associated with Bigfoot, The hunter recalled hearing a clucking sound one might make with their tongue. Chillingly.
Well, maybe it was just a chicken.
It could have been a chicken. But just out of nowhere, after 2 hours of silence, there's a chicken clucking. I mean, that
makes more sense than Bigfoot.
I don't know. Yeah, that's something that could be debated. Chillingly, the witness said that the noise continued for around 15 minutes before he suddenly, quote, heard the weirdest, deepest language that I've ever heard before. Later, likening the sound to guttural rumbling. The noise was so unusual that he, quote, jumped up and ran out into the open and waited to observe what was behind the baffling sounds. But, quote, I never did see anything.
No, nobody ever does.
No. While the hunter is not entirely certain of what he heard.
Not entirely.
The incident was unsettling enough that he has refused to return to the spot where the weird incident occurred. That was weak. I mean, it wasn't, he didn't even see it. He just heard clucking, and that's an article, Tim.
They're reaching for fucking straws at this point.
And check out the picture. I love it.
I thought for sure you were going to do something on Trump releasing the UFO files to distract from the Epstein files.
I thought of it, and I want to treat the UFO topic, the UAP topic, with a little more care and seriousness.
Okay.
Because there is some serious shit about to come down.
Okay.
About aliens.
Wow.
Look out.
All right. I'm looking out.
The aliens.
Yeah.
They're coming.
Okay.
All right. And that was Weak and Weird. So
I don't know if did you ever watch the Taylor Sheridan movie Wind River? It's a 2017 neo-Western crime film.
No.
Well, it involves a guy who works for Fish and Wildlife who's out in Wyoming, whose principal job is to hunt mountain lions. So mountain lion hunters are apparently a thing.
All right. Well, it's good to know. But
this is what we do. We educate the audience.
We are educating
about things they would never fucking know about otherwise.
Yes. File Recovery in the Middle Ages under edutainment.
Yeah, right.
But that about does it for today. I know I had a great time. Did you?
Yeah. I can't believe we actually fucking did it.
Thank God. I mean, no matter what, we should just spit one of these babies out.
Fucking Ryan would be pissed if we didn't do it.
Thank you so much.
I'm scared of Ryan. That's why I'm doing it.
Yep. We don't want to get our knees capped.
I don't know. He's from Chicago. They're tough and fucking
That's
Chicago.
true. That's true. I can just think of Joe Pesci.
He's not from Chicago.
Chicago, but he played Chicago guys.
He's from the Bronx.
Yeah, but he played the Chicago
He was a singing
mobster.
waiter at Michi's. That's how he got his start on Arthur Avenue.
I know Michi's.
Yeah.
Visit us at middleagesrecovery.com because Mike is going to AI make a website.
No.
Maybe I'll do it.
I've gave up on that.
All right. I haven't given up, folks. Podbean, Apple Podcasts,
Just hire
Facebook,
somebody to do it.
Instagram, Spotify, YouTube, and Twitter.
Definitely go to Instagram because I'm doing a couple reels a week, and it would be nice if more than like 10 people watch them.
Guys, we are trying to enter the new
really
space,
are.
the
really
way
trying.
things are, and
We
give
don't
us
know
some
how
support.
'cause we're old.
We are pretty old, but not that old.
I am that old. You are not.
Tweet us a twat, you twit. Support your favorite show. Give us a 5-star review. We will read it, even if it's bad. But whatever you do, make it funny. If it's going to be bad, at least we'll get some comedy out of it.
You can insult us.
Yeah.
And make it bad. Just give us 5 stars.
Yeah, no matter what, 5 stars,
Please.
so we can keep making it bad. Making bad and offensive TV shows and radio shows.
TV
But
shows?
We do neither.
Radio
do we?
shows? We don't do any of that.
We're not on the television.
No.
Or the radio.
No. We're in my basement.
Sell us
Two fucking monkeys in a basement.
Pretty much. Tell us your story, everyone. We've gotten away from the Monksters speak, but I'd like, if you've listened this long and you're still listening to us, I'm talking
What
to
is
you.
wrong with you?
I'm talking to you right now, sitting there listening still after all of that mess. Email us your story. We'll read it. It'll be cool. You don't have to
Mike
come on
R
there.
at middleagesrecovery.com or natx at middleages.
Yeah, and if you want to appear on the
recovery.com.
show for a segment, we'll call you up and it'll be awesome. We love meeting new Monksters. So find us on Facebook. We've got a private group there that no one can read it unless you've joined, and we allow you in. And finally,
It's very exclusive.
the best way to help the show is to share it with a friend. If you get something out of our little show, please share the love and help grow the RMA movement. And
The movement.
as we say, non proficiat perfectum.
Progress, not perfection.
See you next time.
Stay fresh, cheese bags.
Be good.
Or not.